now, I think. Oh, and then I probably didn't change the settings. I think, okay, it's showing here live, but I don't know if we're live on yet, so we should be, but hang on, I gotta make sure it comes in. I think we are, but I am not sure. First times this happened in a while.
Well,
thank goodness. It was happening all the time at the start, and then I got this software. It's sometimes like, okay, it shows me live. I'm going to view live in the control room. Connecting streaming software to go. Okay. Yep, we're live. I see us. All right, now I got to retweet this out. Hang on. Share. Share that on Twitter. Nope, can't do it that way. Sorry, everyone. Technical difficulty. I don't know what happened with that one. Link copy to clipboard. Right after I had momentum with the live stream.
Yeah, it was picking up speed slowly but surely. Craziness.
Wait, let me tweet this out. Join us on YouTube for a chat. How do I paste? Copy paste. Let me throw up a picture. I should have an older picture on here. All right, toss that out there. There we go. Whew. No, wait. Now I got to get back to the menu and click this back over here. No wonder shows cost so much money to make.
Yeah.
All right, Overton, we got you. Thanks for joining us. Overton, by the way, what are you working on? Type it in there. I'm going to try something with leaving the Twitter feed open. So if someone wants to tweet while we're watching and stuff like that, I'm going to figure out some new ways of working on this because it's been going good. I've had a lot of fun this last week. Twitter Spaces, like a thing you can chat on Twitter and you can use voice. And I got to use that, man. I did it twice a day for probably like 4 days or something. Today, when you were in there, Lee, we had like 11 listeners or, participants because everyone can kind of talk. So I was surprised, like, getting that many. Lee's a little low resolution. That might be my feed. Maybe he's just a low resolution guy. Is that because he's old? Maybe he only comes in lower resolution. With your pick, you were all fit and trim in there and everything in your Twitter photo from that event.
Yeah, that was a long time ago when I served Earth Alliance. It was friends of mine were sort of they part organisers of the event, and my friend Michael, his mum actually used to make those uniforms for like cosplayers and stuff.
Yeah,
you could buy yourself a Babylon 5 officer's uniform, and she'd make it. So I managed to borrow one of them because I managed to wrangle working backstage as security.
Yeah.
For the event, and they were having like an awards ceremony for SFX magazine.
Oh yeah.
So there was a lot of like other sort of celebrities there, as well as like the people there for the signing and stuff. Like there was Bruce Bockleitner, Jerry Doyle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Delenn, who played Delenn, was there. And there was other people there signing, like Warwick Davis, who played Willow and Wicket, the Ewok.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was there. I actually got a signed picture of him as Willow, which was really cool. But as I posted on Twitter, the little story about how I had my rather nice leather armchair stolen by Darth Vader himself, David Prowse, which was
that's a good story to have.
Yeah. Well, as a thing, it's just like I was running between, because all my friends were in the bar, and we'd claimed like a table, we'd claimed some chairs, and I was running backstage. Literally, I was doing bugger all. I just had a security pass, but I got roped into sort of to do stuff as well. Hey, Toffee. Hey.
Thanks for joining us, Toffee and Fenris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so as I was running from backstage to the bar, and the chair was gone, and I was like going, "Where's my chair?" And my mate Aaron just pointed to David Prowse and went, "He took it."
You didn't go try to fight him, dude?
No. You can't fight Dave Prowse. Dave Prowse, you could no big ladies. And I looked over there and went, "What? Dave Prowse nicked my chair?" And Aaron just replied, "Well, you can't say no to the Dark Lord of the Sith."
Yeah.
And I thought, fair play. So I'll let Vader live on that occasion.
Let him make it.
Yeah, but funnily enough, when I was younger, back in I think it was like Return of the Jedi and that sort of era, he used to do public appearances in his Darth Vader outfit, and near where I lived was a rugby club, and they had like big fields, and they're having some like celebrities there, and Darth Vader was the headline act. And while we were over there, they had this big area sectioned off, like roped off, and basically he was arriving by helicopter. Although,
really?
Yeah, me and my friends at the time were thinking, "Oh, I hope he turns up with his TIE Fighter, like who was like 7 or 8, you know."
Yeah.
So this helicopter comes in, lands. Everyone's like, "Wow, we've never seen a helicopter this close before." And there's this like powering down and all that, and he gets out the helicopter in his full Vader outfit.
Oh wow, that's kind of a trip, especially when you're a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But my older brother Ian was with us, and as he's got out the helicopter and the propellers are winding down, he's just shouted out, "Bundle!" And literally everyone just surged across the ropes and surrounded him, sort of thing, because they were so excited. So we rushed Vader. If it was actually Vader, I'm sure we would have all died horribly, but it was all right.
Yeah, helicopter, Imperial shuttle, same thing. Todd, nice to see you in here. Appreciate you stopping by. It was cool that you got to stop by on the Twitter room too. So if you I'll be having that pop up. I gotta get in a good rhythm. It's been working as long as I have my odds and ends done where I can get some work done while I talk. It works out actually really well.
Yeah. Well, that's important, being able to
actually get stuff done instead of just BS about hobby.
Yeah, I'll just turn that down a bit. Because I was looking at my face and going, "You pale."
Yeah, Toffee Troll's deciding if I shall do some hobby or play a game. Lee, you haven't had any time to hobby, have you?
Not much. I managed because yesterday, as I was saying earlier on, I was looking after my kids, and normally I see that I pick them up from like college and school, and then I stay around until about 9 o'clock, sort of thing, when their mum comes home, and then I come back. But because I've been there all day, and everyone was feeling a little bit, worse for wear because it's cold. I got let out early, so when I got back here, I done a little bit of painting. So I did, after I spoke to you the other day, I did some priming and base coat of the Reaver Titan I built the week before last. And I've got one here, Toffee.
That's it. Next time I'm buying beer for the next show, I want to have a beer. I have to pick something. Maybe I'll go to like the grocery store and I'll try to get some, I don't know, some UK type beverage or something and see how much of an imposter it is.
Yeah, you can do that. You can say, yeah, you probably won't like it.
No, whatever. I'll just do it to try it. I'll just
UK beers generally like real ale and stuff like that, which like Bishop's Finger and Speckled Hen and like Eskimo Wang. We very crazy names, very earthy, very hoppy.
Yeah.
Um, if you were to try and find some interesting beverages from the UK,
I'll look when I go to look. I'll snap a few pictures or whatever, and I might pass them to you, and then you can pick something.
yeah,
Todd asks. I don't think Todd has joined us on the show, but if not, he asks us, "What is your main hobby of choice?" And I know the Forge of Mars, by his name alone, is making Titans for Adeptus Titanicus. And if you don't know, Lee, what 103 Titans now? So some sort of I'm claiming world record. I'm just gonna claim it for you. You don't even have to claim it. I'm claiming it for you. He's got like the world record holder and Titan craziness.
Well, I'm working on the 104th, and before I go up to Warhammer World in about 3 weeks' time, I should have the last one I've got in my build pile. So it'll be 105 plus 150 knights. So that's the small ones. I think.
In Adeptus Titanicus, can you play a game with just knights, or it wouldn't work?
Yes.
You could.
Yeah.
So then, theoretically, if you adjusted the measurements, you could take 28 scale millimeter knights and play a game of Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah. Well, we use knights in our big Titan walks as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all doable.
This stuff is dangerous, man. That's the worst thing about talking with everyone. Everyone tells me this cool stuff, and then I start thinking, well, yeah, I should do that, and yeah, I should buy this, and yeah, it's like dangerous.
Yeah, no. So,
he knows how your what is it? Your reputation precedes you.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. It's to be fair, I'm sort of surprised I haven't had that much sort of negative sort of comments when I've posted up stuff about
never say that. No,
the touch wood. You always get that's a lot of money, but over the course of like 3 years, birthdays, Christmas,
you get extras in there for sure, dude.
And like I get a Christmas bonus from work, which is basically my boss normally buys me like Games Workshop vouchers.
Yeah.
Because he knows that's what I like. He gets me them, and so I spend it on Adeptus Titanicus. So, and it's the game that I enjoy the most, the like modeling, painting, and everything.
And then you have it. I thought someone posted the other day. They were like about if the hobby was expensive, and in my knee-jerk reaction, like it's always, of course, relative. But for me, I was like, okay, well, let me think if I think it's expensive. Because it's like, okay, you do get a miniature. If I just look at the price of the miniature, I think, yeah, that's expensive. You know what I mean? That's my gut reaction. But then I was like, well, I went golfing for like $40. You know what I mean? And you spend a few hours and then it's gone. I'm like, okay, so if you golf once a week and spend, was it 40, 80, $160, and you went golfing, but then you literally have nothing at the end of it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if you spent 160 on miniatures, you would get something good and then still have it. So it's like, okay, I mean, I get, and then I was come to the realization, like maybe all those hobbies are expensive.
Well, you've also got the obviously you've got to buy the equipment for golf, and that's definitely
yeah.
So like golf, like a decent golf club can set you back hundreds of dollars easily.
I know. And see, I golfed with the oldest pair, and so then over the last couple of years, I like bought one club. I'd buy I got my driver replaced, and then like a 3-wood, so I did it like super slow because those are like $200-300 for a quote unquote decent one. I mean, you can get, used ones that are probably good, but the good news is I'm not that good of a golfer where I'm like, oh, I need the best club. You know what I mean? I'm like, I won't get the extra benefits out of it.
And God forbid if you actually get a hole in one,
Yeah. I
because
never
obviously
my
you buy
dad
one
my dad
buy
never really even golfed, and he started going as like a senior citizen just because his brothers would go, and he got a hole in one on like a huge hole, and I'm like, oh god, I probably golfed like 10 times more than him and never even, one time I bounced and then hit the flag and then the ball went away. I was like the closest on a par 3, but he ended up hitting some big one. Like he's no, not he's no good. It's like he didn't golf much and he gets a hole in one.
Yeah, but that's again, beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Right. Uh,
We were talking about we had what we were talking about earlier. Todd was talking about we were talking about some of the stuff, how he felt about the new Marines and the hover vehicles and stuff like that. Some of the design
yeah,
choices.
there was something you were saying about, like you were saying about, with like a tank you could just dive on the floor and let it go over you.
Yeah.
Because I thought, yeah, well that's fair. Although you probably haven't seen the film The Beast,
No,
which
what does it like exert pressure that way? And it was like smash
well, no,
stuff underneath
it
it.
was The Beast. Was a film done in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, and it had guy who was in the Lost Boys.
The
Like
Kiefer
Michael,
Sutherland or
Michael in the Lost Boys,
okay.
the older brother.
Yeah.
He was in it, and in that they run over a guy in a tank, and that was like, oh, that was quite severe. But when you were talking about the repulsors, the grav tanks,
Yeah.
you do not want to be underneath one of them, because the Imperial grav technology is nowhere near as light and fluffy as the Eldar stuff.
Oh,
Because what the repulsor technology, what those tanks do is literally they push down the
yeah.
earth. So as it's going along, it leaves tracks
Yeah,
because it's
just
actually
through the
down
pressure.
force.
Yeah.
If you went underneath it, you would get flattened.
Not if you're an orc and you believe that.
That's the power of belief.
Yep.
Yeah, orc and walk.
Oh, okay, wait. Something I wanted to ask people while I have a hobby. I was flicking channels the other night, and I don't know, some on-demand service, and they had Picard on. No, and I noticed, I'm like, wait, no one ever talks about the Picard show that much. I haven't seen it. And I was kind of like, well, wait, why aren't they like, what's the vibe? Did you watch any of it, or what's the deal with that?
Um, yeah, I watched it. I had no problem with it. It was interesting. I like the concept. With how they went about things, and yeah, I see. I don't look too much into things. I
That's the same with me. Like, yes, I'm a easy flow. Like, I don't expect the like War and Peace in every movie I watch or show.
Hmm. Yeah, it was good seeing, like, Jean-Luc with his Earl Grey hot.
Okay, so maybe I will watch it then. All right, if it's something that kind of like is enough passable, then it might be a good background show for me. Because I was wondering, I seen it like, man, I might have to try it just cause.
It's worth watching. I say it's interesting. Very Romulan centric as well.
Mhm.
Uh,
Todd
but
Carrington, he knew the Beast.
yeah,
He knew that movie.
and apparently loads of sort of military types actually really rate it as a sort of a war movie, even though it's a Soviet tank in Afghanistan. Sort
Yeah.
of, how these guys trying to sort of survive out on their own, sort of thing. It was quite visual,
Hmm.
the way it was made, and there was a lot of, like, it didn't get a big release and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff, but it was considered, like, loads of guys actually considered it like a really good sort of fairly accurate in some respects.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but yeah, it's worth watching. You know, so it was like straight to video type
Yeah.
film. You know, very limited release in cinemas.
What
Uh,
did I put on? I put on something the other day. What was it? It's old. It was late 80s. Oh God, what was it? Oh, it's gonna pop to me sooner or later.
right.
Yeah, and it was something. Oh gosh, and I think it was a good movie. That shows you how bad my memory. I am doomed. Like that was last night. I can't remember what happened. Okay, we'll skip right over that. I'll have to find out what. I'll have to remember what I was watching. Gosh.
Capture your history.
Yeah, they're like some people are like, people like dwell on their problems or whatever. It's like, oh, dude, that shit's gone in my mind. Like I don't even know if I have a problem because I forget it like 10 minutes later. Like problems, what are those, dude? That can't
No
stick
idea
in
what
my
it.
mind.
Yeah, yeah, Picard. It's fun. It is another little fun fact regarding. Do you know Marina Sirtis, who plays Deanna Troi?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, my cousin is married to her godson.
Okay.
So it's like, wow, you know. And when I found that out, I went, "Oh my god, he's like, the godson of Marina Sirtis, Deanna Troi."
Yeah.
Oh my god. They actually stayed in her house when I was like traveling years
Hmm.
ago, out in LA. But yeah, no, it is enjoyable. It is fun. It obviously, if
Okay.
you watched like the Next Generation, it does tie up. And
Yeah,
little,
that's what I was like. Oh, just for the old nostalgia sake, check it out. Hey,
yeah,
Mechanical Frog, thanks for making it. Fenris
uh,
type Team Riker.
yeah.
I mean.
But the Discovery. Now, a lot of people don't like Discovery. I actually enjoy that. The only thing I don't like about it were the Klingons, because they weren't my Klingons. My Klingons had the 80s rock perms, had length boots with the pointy bits on. That's my Klingons. But they changed them for that, and I know it's set earlier, like pre Star Trek days,
Yeah, yeah,
but because they had a bit of a redesign in one of the movies with the one with Khan, Into
yeah,
Dark, when they go to Kronos, and the Cleons there haven't got the wigs, haven't got the perms, they're bald, wearing the face masks and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah.
it's like, what the hell's going on here? Not my Klingon.
Not my Klingon.
But before they released Discovery, like one of the guys came on, like one of the producers or whatever, he said, like, with Klingons, like humans, not all of us look the same.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, right, okay, yeah, I can accept that. If this is like another, you know,
Oh,
kind
true
of
enough.
Klingon
Yeah, they could be different.
Kronos,
Yeah,
fair enough. But then
yeah.
they done this thing where they had the 12 great households of Klingons meet, sort of thing,
And
before
they're
this,
all the same.
and they're all the same, pretty
Yeah,
much. Like there's some white ones, there's some dark ones, there's like different skin,
yeah. But they still kind of look yeah.
all the same, yeah. And then I was like, okay, so is this, because I know a bit of Star Trek history and stuff, and basically the whole Khan thing, the eugenics war and all that,
Yeah,
Klingons got hold of the technology because they thought, well, we can't have the humans having these super dudes, so
yeah.
we want to do it ourselves. And they did it, they implemented it, but then it it went hybrid with a virus, and then it was
Oh,
actually like killing loads of Klingons.
huh.
Um, and but those that survived this like plague sort of this COVID, eugenics COVID they had, those that survived started looking more human like, um, So that's what you got like in the original series when you had, human-looking
Well,
Klingons.
yeah.
Right? And then eventually they sort of their DNA brought out 80s Klingons with the knee-high boots, and the wigs.
Wait, Federer said Rick James style Klingons are the best.
Yeah. Although one of the Klingons in the original series, the one where trouble with tribbles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Klingon that's in that, the captain, Korath, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in Deep Space Nine as Korath.
Oh, really?
He's got the wig. He's got the hair. He was Dax's friend, the sword master.
This is a good one, and no one. Well, you say no one caught this, but because of my my one tidbit of nerd knowledge. So, what is the one? I'm so bad. It is Return of the Jedi. Okay, so Return of the Jedi, where Luke is on the barge and he's going to get pushed over, right? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a guy who basically has like a pole arm, and he's kind of like a darker brown complexion, and he has a ponytail. And so
Weequay.
Yep. And he was in the Mandalorian, not him, but they had the
Yeah.
same name in the Mandalorian. And I was like, I don't know if that's supposed to be him or his kid or something.
No, it was him.
It was him?
I believe it is actually him.
Because I was like, they used the same name, and I didn't see anyone talk about it. I'm like, oh, they said it's Weequay.
Yeah. So, but I say not everybody died. I know Jabba's thing blew up.
Yeah.
Those on the skiff got kicked off. Some of them fell into the Salak pit. Others may not have. But you don't see that,
Yeah.
So, Clut. No, Cluttu. I think Cluttu was a different one.
Yeah,
Cluttu was like.
I think I got the right. Yeah, that was Weequay. I think that was Weequay.
The
only reason I remember is because I bought the toy back in the day.
But Cluttu's got a complexion because he's. I'm going to Google it now. But yeah, no, there's a few of them running around. But that's the thing with the Mandarin. They are taking little spread the past. Like the Mandalorian himself is based on the Mandalorian that appeared in the Christmas special.
Yeah.
So like his old, and the thing I loved about that was that it answered the question why Darth Vader told Boba Fett no disintegrations.
Yeah.
Because of that rifle against Jawas, which I still laugh at every time I see him. Yeah. Just like robes. It's Jon Favreau is perfect to be running that.
I think he's kind of, I don't know if genius is too strong, but I think so. He's to me an amazing storyteller. He gets his stuff and tells his story, and I'm like, dude, you run a nice clean movie and capture the points and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so he's doing it right. It's sometimes you just get the right person in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So it just works out. So and it's worked out for the Mandalorian because obviously he's now onto his third season. Everybody sort of loves it. Although I don't know how the third one's going to be with where Grogu is doing stuff. I'm not going to go too much just in case of But
no, so you're right on that.
There's a Star Trek book where Deanna Troi mother has a fling with Q.
Yeah, that's why I just saw that. I did not know that. And that's what I love because everyone in here. Klaatu has the white coveralls. So what's funny is I visualize the white coveralls and remember it. I can't picture that person's face or anything, but I just remember you said white coveralls. I'm like, wait, yeah, I think that. So it's just funny when I hear tidbits like that. I'll have to look him up later.
He had a sort of a greenish complexion as well, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
He sort of reminded me of Merman from He-Man. We had those like sort of ridges there and there sort of thing.
So not the merman from, what was it with Ben Stiller? Merman.
Todd's remembering the Jawa scene. Well, and again, riding in a sand crawler. That was just awesome. Just seeing like the Mandalorian in the command bridge of the sand crawler, like bending down.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I absolutely adore the Mandalorian. It just works.
Thank you, Overton. He said, regarding the paint over Scott, I really love the red light and the smoke. It makes it look like searchlights. Yeah, I'm debating. I'm trying. So I want to do some, the lights. And I was debating on how big, but I'm like, all right, it at least reads as light, And I don't know what to do with this glow yet. I think I'm over glowing it right here, but such is life.
What I would normally do with, like, if I was doing a glow effect on my
Yeah.
that, I would have like a much brighter, whiter, like that.
Yeah. You're probably right. I know. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'll try some. Oh, yeah, you're right, because it probably already does look better. Let me take this one off. Yeah, Todd said, yeah, he was green and more like a lizard. Gosh, everybody, that's what I'm learning chatting with people too. That was a big thing, especially the voice stuff. There's so many people, I don't know, I guess like a lot of us who are kind of returning back to the hobby. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I talked to a whole bunch of people, oh, like they're in it. And, then they got out of it for a while and then they're getting back in. And I mean, it's a lot of people. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's what was the surprising thing, where I'm like, oh, okay, there's a ton of people out there who like kind of relate to my gaming story or whatever, and that's one thing I was just surprised. I mean, it's a lot of people. I think George just lost sight of it. Thank you.
Being a hobbyist and gamer and all that, most people have something similar and they can relate to it, and that's the good thing about like when you go to sort of like hobby events like the Horus Heresy Weekenders or Black Library Weekends, you're all there because you have a passion for that particular hobby, and you spend half the time when you're not in seminars listening to all the little tidbits that are like authors and rules writers are telling you and all that sort of stuff. It's meeting other people, and you're interacting and you're telling your little stories and they're telling theirs, and you're just having a fun time. The bar.
That's it too.
The bar at those events were just like awesome. Like the last weekend, like not Heresy Weekend, the last Black Library Weekender. Me and my group of friends, we're all friends with a lot of the authors. Yeah. So at the end of the night, normally they'll come in, they go around, chill around with people, and then they all sort of come back to where our sort of domain is set up. And we just sit there drinking, having a laugh, and all that sort of stuff. And it's just great, because they are normal people at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, that's like when we were on that chat and Joel, just the photographer, came in. I thought that was really cool because he's not like super active like on Twitter, because we talked to him a little bit, but he was just like, yeah, I wanted everyone to know that, we look at your work like in the offices and stuff. So it was just funny that, they're like scrolling Twitter, and he literally said like, we get inspiration from all the stuff we see and that. So it was just kind of cool, like the communication level that you can get. And what's interesting for me is I am not the type of like online, to even me to be here having this conversation with you like on an online thing. It's so not me. But the more I kind of do it, and there's a lot of people like that out there who are really talented and into the hobby, but they're just not into like, putting stuff on social media all the time.
Yeah, there's a guy, Alex, who occasionally joins in on my hobby stream on Saturdays. But he's like been messaging my Facebook page, and like he's like just saying, I'm starting this now, and he's posting up these pictures. And I think he's been on here as well at one stage as well. And he was saying, like one last time I spoke to him, I think he's actually messaged me. I haven't checked the messages, to be honest with you. I've been too
Yeah,
busy.
no, you've been busy though. Yeah.
But he even said, like, oh, if you want to share the pictures, there's no problem. But it's like, I it's not my work, if you know what I mean. I don't want people to think that is my work. As much as I say, oh, this is this guy's and all that, and give him credit, because he's not on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, it's I feel odd sort of posting it and, you know, getting all the sort of kudos and stuff, if you know what I mean, because he's really
Yeah.
good of like painter and all that.
I post everyone's pictures. My book is going to be right. Wait, what was the title? Riding the coattails of others to success. like I just laugh because I'm like, oh, I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. I took other people's masterful pieces of work that already look good and then like fudged around on some backgrounds. I'm like, ta-da, look what I did.
But we all love it. You're so insidious with your little plan for
It's
world
so
domination.
fun. These are so cool. And I'm laughing. I'm like, I'm coming to grips with the fact. I'm like, I say, I don't even like using the term nerd because to me it's not even nerdy, but it's like, what into that stuff? You know what I mean? Like I've always been into that. And then you get out of it and your friends aren't around where you're not talking about it all the time. And then here, once I start getting into this and you're talking about people, like talking about it and it so charges me up. He's been joining some of the hobby chats on Twitter, and I've been having a blast talking with him too, because like we were talking about some about his photography and what he has going on, and then again, it's one of those things where you find out we're into the same whatever shows as when you were a kid, and you're like with you, it's great talking to you because you have the whole UK experience. You know what I mean? I was sitting over here in the US with my hobby shop that had one little GW thing in it back in the 80s, and then you guys got to go to the games workshops and everything, so it's awesome.
Yeah, well, so those they're a little bit more sort of spread around nowadays. But
Oh yeah.
like when I was first getting into the hobby, I first found Games Workshop or Citadel Miniatures in a local toy shop in their sort of model department, and that sort of interests me because I like the look of Space Marines in that box set, stuff like that. And it wasn't until later when I got my first White Dwarf, which was 120, which is the one which has the Deathwing expansion for Space Hulk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Librarian Terminator.
Oh, I remember. I think I remember that cover itself.
Yeah, and then in the back it had listings of Games Workshop stores, and I saw there was one in Oxford Street in London. So I decided to get a rail travel card and head into London one weekend, and I found it, and it was just like,
Wait, we can't. I didn't even get to do the more hard. See, that's another thing. I need more audio effects queued up. I can't even. I can't make everyone go deaf with the Titan horn. I have to. I think I can change the audio so it's not coming out so loud when I have to hit the war horn. So here, everyone, let me know if this is way too loud. This will be good. God, I love the sound of those. That is such a cool one.
Yeah.
I need a couple more. I'm gonna get some good sound effects. I need to get that. Oh, you know who else I got to talk to? Super cool dude. And you can tell why his production quality. There's so many talented people. Colin from Cold Open Stories. And then I half babble like a spaz. Like I get on here and I just get all excited and start talking. He comes on and he does all the audio stuff, but real nice, clear speaking voice. Like it just sounds his mic was already like super crisp and all professional and stuff. So I was laughing. But he was a great one to talk to with all the stuff he had going on. He's got a lot going on. So many people just do so much with this hobby. Todd said it's not loud enough. My man.
Yeah, you want your teeth rattling.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a couple more.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like with like I wrote some like I can't say fan fiction really because it's my
Yeah.
own type, but I wrote like background pieces for Iracundus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about him is because of the Bluetooth speaker he had in him, he was like the original Disco Reaver because I played music out of him. But I had a thing that his war spirit within the Titan was a very angry horns and like in challenge,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing.
I want to jam Joe Pesci into as a Titan spirit. Oh, I think he froze up just a bit.
Had his engines, plasma core, sort of reignited, and basically all the priests are chanting outside, and you know all this religious stuff going off by the Mechanicus Magos and stuff.
Yeah.
The first thing it does, as soon as it sort of its awareness comes into full wakefulness, sort of thing, is that it's basically it bellows out a challenge straight away, and like in an enclosed space when your war horn's going off,
Oh
you know,
God.
if you haven't got augmented hearing to sort of
That'll do some damage.
yeah, it would do damage sort of thing. And the other thing that it did was it automatically started checking the ammo hoppers. So basically, like lock and loading. Before anything else, it was just like as it woke up,
It
it
was
would
just
like
loading up and it made a
yeah,
challenge. That's
basically
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
ready to fire before moving or anything else. You know, it just goes
Yeah.
full weapons. Where what am I killing, sort of thing.
No, you're so right. That is such a 40K thing to me. Like that it would just wake up and be like already like it's war right as soon as it wakes up. It's trying to like fire at something.
Mm. But that's you know it was. I just thought it was like a really cool little thing that like because you get like Titans in stories where they do have like little characters about them, like they are characters in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but that was the thing with like Iracundus actually means wrathful. Basically, it's full of anger and wrath, fury, sort of thing. And so it was like it exits that once it was awoken.
Yeah, how cool.
I've done several little stories over the course of its so since its creation. Once it sort of come off the production line, and then something happens on somewhere, and then he's interred in the stasis vault because he was naughty. Um,
And this is so bad. I'm doing this for a Patreon member. Like I so for the people joining, I'm trying to go through and do a couple live streams and give them some paint overs just for being in Patreon. But this one got emailed to me like last week when I like asked for it, and then when I'm really bad is I don't remember the name offhand. I didn't go scroll through the emails and I can't believe it's kind of rude of me not to remember the name. But when I post it on Twitter, I will obviously tag the person who it is because I can't remember offhand. Kind of bums me out. But I'm
maybe you
bad.
should just
Everyone should know we've been
back
on this
out
long. I'm
then, mate.
forgetful. I don't
Post
remember
it.
names and all that. So hey, man, this is what you get.
Murder Fang. Yeah, Murder Fang is. I went up. Well, actually, I don't think I fought Murder Fang. I've battled against one of the other Space Wolf Venerable Dreadnoughts that had the axe and the shield, and
Oh, that one's cool.
yeah, and I basically I shot it and was able to disarm its axe, and I thought, woohoo, it can't hurt me. But apparently, it still gets an attack with its shield, which was like, and I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah, shield punch.
Yeah, like shield punch to the throat. Yeah, didn't like that.
I'm gonna have to. Oh, and if anybody, there was a. I still. Overton. See what an. See, look at this. Wait, it's Overton's. So he's in here. So worse yet.
So glad I'm not you right now.
The the person who I probably Overton I must interact with, and he like thankfully like retweets me about everything, and it's his dreadnought, and I don't even remember it. Oh my gosh.
But to be fair, you do tend to forget most people's stuff, so it's all part of the process.
Oh God! And I don't even
Overton, he
blush
does
much.
it
I'm like
deliberately
I'll
to
turn
see if
red.
you're
See when
actually
I'm not
here.
on camera, I'm all red.
It's a test. It's a test. If you're doing the paint over, you want the person whose model it is to be watching.
Yeah, yeah. Good call, Lee. There, it was all a ploy.
And Overton passed. Well done.
Yeah, good job, Overton. Thank you.
Yeah. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Yeah. God, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Everyone, it's got to be a whole. Is it just because of? I mean, I guess social media would amplify it, but it just seems like from everyone I talk to and all these different facets, it just seems like the miniature D&D space, all this podcast, it just seems like it's I don't want to know if it's like a golden age, but like an explosion of growth that's like kind of maintaining. It's not like it's like a little thing. I literally think it's like the next level of growth for it.
Yeah, you got all the podcasts. Obviously, you got the live streams that go on as well. And there's loads of really good sort of hobbyists that are actually getting involved in
Yeah.
doing these little things. Like, and some of them have been doing it for ages already,
Mm-hmm.
be it on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch. Sorry. Um,
Oh yeah.
so as I said, like Garvey, I was saying earlier on about doing his videos and tutorials and stuff like that. Whereas I don't do much in the way of tutorials as such. It's
Yeah.
more just that come hang out with me if you want,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's why there's a yeah.
you might see something that I'm doing and go, hold on a sec, what's that? And you're just again, it's just an extension of the
Well,
when you
yeah. I think like I enjoy it with you. You know a lot of that different stuff or whatever. So I always enjoy it. I mean, what a random. The fact that I asked you, I saw your Titan, I thought it was really cool, and then like ask you on, and then it ends up we've been doing like 30 whatever 30 weeks or over or something. And that's the other thing I want to. So with this,
so
technically
that's like
I can send out an invite, right? So I could put a link to this live stream out on Twitter, but it's a join link. And I can have like, I don't even know if it's probably like over 30 people come in and they would all be muted, but then I could bring them up on screen. So I was literally thinking, okay, one day we're gonna have to try something and let some guests kind of come on. You know what I mean? And like have some like I can do that, send out a thing and have some people kind of just, whatever they want, show something. We talk to them for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, hear about like their slice of the hobby and go from there. But I mean, I get all excited because like the technology, the mix of inspiration, the people around the hobby, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
yeah, no, say this. I'm sure there'd be a few people that would be quite comfortable in doing something like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some people that aren't too keen about being on camera and
Yeah,
such.
exactly. Me. Ta-da.
Yeah, duh. Yeah. So I say I've seen you once, and that was in White Dwarf.
Yeah.
But yeah, you say some people are, I wouldn't say like exhibitionists or
Well, yeah, no, I mean, and
voyeurs, or
it's whatever
because
it
they're
is.
more comfortable, just having a chat and
Yeah.
doing all that sort of thing. So
Coffee Troll
uh,
says my whole kill team terrain is based on a technique I got from one of Lee's live streams. Look at that. Look at you. Look at you. Look at Lee.
yeah, thank you. But that's the thing. Is like I've watched live streams, like watching like Louise Sugden's work as well on the
Oh yeah,
Warhammer
she paints
3.
well. Yeah, she's
Yeah, she's awesome. She's also part of this band.
the band shirt.
Yeah, the band shirt. This is the t-shirt, the first shirt I wore for the live stream when you was doing my paint over for the
Oh, really? Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's right. I remember you bringing it up. Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen you
So
once, and that was in White Dwarf. Echo's laughing. Echo, I didn't say hi to you. Thanks for making it, Echo. appreciate all the likes and shares. Someone said that too. That's one thing that, you know, it's not like I'm some big personality, but like I have followers now, you know, and the fact that there's like 8 concurrent viewers here still blows my mind. But the people who share, like I realize now, I'm like, someone, I thank them for sharing, and they're like, oh, you know, no big deal, you do all the heavy lifting. But now, like on this kind of end where someone's sharing your work, to me it's like a huge deal. It literally is, because I'm like, the way I look at it, like, oh, it's just a tweet. But I'm like, yeah, but you could be tweeting about a billion other things, you know what I mean? And it's like you took that and like did that, and a lot of these all like lead to work for me, and you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I would hear YouTubers or someone be like, yeah, thanks for the support. They'd always thank them like every episode. And I was like, dude, you're half full of shit. You don't really care or something. You know what I mean? And then like it happens, you know, like, oh my God, I say thank you more than the people I used to think were fake. I'm like, I probably come off fake, but I'm like, oh well. Like I'm grateful, so whatever.
No, but as I say, I think you know, you do come across as being genuine when you're saying thank you, sort of thing.
Yeah, no,
So
I try.
I believe we're all of us are here are actually happy being here, hanging out, watching you do some awesome work here, and then yeah, having a chat in the chat, having a chat
And
in the chat.
yeah,
Um, and that's what it is. It's just like with my stuff, I'm just happy with like if there's only like 2 people watching, it doesn't
for
matter.
real. Like even when someone interacts, I was like, all right, that's like more than I thought.
But I say like obviously having that chat and back and forth, that's what it's all about. It's you're hanging out. It's like we're all separated by hundreds, if not thousands, of miles, and we're all at the same time doing a bit of hobby.
I know, what a
Listening to
trip.
us talk or whatever, and like you can just say, "Oh, well, I don't say, have you seen this? I'm doing that," and interaction. You
And
just keep that social element about things.
I
Yeah,
love the I love the whole the worldwide aspect of this, because sometimes on the voice I'll be like, you know, someone from a country I'm not that familiar with, or he had a lot of exposure to, will come in, and then I get to question them about food. So like I always leave a little question about, like, you know, if they have something I'm not like, they were from Sweden, and I know like some Sweden, but I don't talk to them a lot. And so it was good to get like the, okay, what's like a staple meal, and what were you making and stuff. So I get these little tidbits of things. I just love that part of it.
see if you'd actually watched Babylon 5, there's this thing, there's this alien called Jakar, and he's an ambassador to this race called the Narn, and they're sort of like look a bit sort of lizardy, I suppose, in some
Okay.
respects, like marsupials. They're raised like in a pouch and stuff when
Yeah.
they're young, but in the early seasons they're very aggressive, like trying to get their foot in the door and all that sort of thing. And they've got
Yeah.
a rivalry against this older race who sort of lived on their world. But in one of these little scenes where, because it's not just all stories. I think they had these little scenes, and you got Jakar, who's this ambassador, who's just like he was a freedom fighter when they kicked off um, the Centauri from their planet and all that sort of stuff. And he's in his chamber cooking some food, and this somebody comes. I can't remember who it is, and
Yeah.
basically what he was doing was he's been looking through other races' foods, and there was this, I can't remember what flan, right? This food they call flan, and he basically says it's the humans have flan, but they call it Swedish meatballs. Um, and it's like it's like it's amazing. All these races have flan in some form or another. so so yeah, he was cooking Swedish meatballs at the time, but he was just like it's flan.
It's
There's
flam.
just that connection between races and stuff.
I what was I thinking? There was something else that got brought up. There was something I want to ask, but it'll come to me later. I was trying to. The only thing I did that a foundation. That's coming out Friday. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday we do our stream. So I'm gonna check that out. I'll see that. I was like, okay, I'll watch that
The
show.
first two episodes.
What was that?
But the first two episodes are already out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
You've
first
watched
two
it.
were out. I dug it. I was like, okay, because I didn't know anything about the world or the book or whatever, so you don't have any like biases or
Yeah,
preconceived
yeah, we was
notions
talking
or
about it the
anything.
other night, but on the Twitter places, we were talking about it.
Yeah,
They were saying there were slight differences from the books. So, and I actually read up on a thing that came up on my newsfeed saying like, oh, the differences between the books and what's happening in Foundation. So,
yeah, I
yeah,
should look into that. I'm gonna. I think after I watch some, then I'll probably do that. Just because I don't want like too much spoil. I don't know where it's going, so I'm like, I'll go with it.
yeah, no, it seems all right. It seems enjoyable
Yeah,
so
it
far. I
did
mean,
seem like the production value seems sweet. Red Dwarf was it? Never heard of those troll. We'll have to give them a try. Crop cock. I don't even can't even say that. How do I pronounce that? Crop was it?
Kropka.
Yeah.
But then again, if that's Swedish or Danish or something like that, then that what you see is not how it's pronounced. Um,
Is
as
everybody
I
keen
mentioned
to
before, when I was
watch?
in Denmark, I was asking to go to one place and nobody knew what I was talking about. It's like it's a major city, you know. And they went. I was asking for Odense, and
Is
it's Und.
I wonder what this is. Fenris said, "Is everybody keen to watch the Eisenhorn Xenos TV show?" I mean, I know Eisenhorn. I know it's Xenos, but I didn't know there was an Eisenhorn Xenos TV show. Huh.
Yeah, there was yeah, yeah, because they were talking about. I don't know if what's happened with that because they were going to make that into. I think it was a live action, or it might just be another animation. I don't know, but
Yeah.
because everyone was trying to get Henry Cavill to play Greg
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so that's never mind. I have like recipe conversations from other people in this hobby chat. And I talked to Toffee Troll, and he was is mashed potatoes with fried pork inside of it, and then you boil it. And that's what he was making. He like, I'm gonna post a picture on Twitter so I could see. So I know it's a because when I travel, I like to eat. I like I like food. You know how it is, dude. Most people like food, but you like what's like a home cooked type thing. If you go somewhere like, okay, what do you like traditionally kind of eat, or what's like a home meal? I don't need to go to like a restaurant, to taste it. So I always love like what's someone making in their actual home.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
still in
that's
production. He says it's still in production. The Inquisitor Eisenhorn show. Interesting.
mm. So we've got. Oh, that's I haven't watched the Angels of Death today, which the latest episode. So
Oh no,
that's
I'm
something.
gonna have to catch that. I'm gonna end up getting the subscription for it.
Mm. Yeah, it's whew, sorry. Um,
You're allowed. You've been a busy boy, and you got tomorrow off though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, because you probably got all the stuff to do that you didn't get to do while you were working 24/7.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to do at some point. Um, but yeah, it's waiting to see what happens tomorrow because I'm not sure if my daughter is going to be in school or not.
Gotcha.
Um, because we had to get them tested for COVID
Yeah,
and still waiting for the results to come through as such.
gotcha.
But yes,
Oh, COVID. Hopefully, I mean, I don't even think about the like it being over, but at some point it's going to all like die down more, or whatever's going to happen where it'll be somewhat more like return to normal. And like, oh gosh, that's going to be nice. It's just, you that's the other thing. You talk to everyone, it's like, yeah, it like everything between COVID itself and like different lockdowns, and like it affected everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody has some sort of like, story or whatever, just because it's a big change of life.
Yeah, I would say it affects so many people at the end of the day. Like over here, we are getting um, less people wearing masks now because of
It's
uh, they sort of lifted the restrictions. I
mhm.
still wear a mask at work.
Yeah.
It's just that I was saying for a while now that I don't mind wearing masks because I haven't had a cold in like over a year.
Yeah, yeah.
I had my first cold since February last year. So, and that was due to my son, someone at his college,
Yeah.
and coughing and sneezing and all that sort of stuff. And colds are colds; you're going to catch them.
Dude,
So,
I'm one of the. I'll admit it. I'm not a baby. It's just what it's. I have a lot. Okay, so my theory is I'm a big guy. I have a lot of nerve endings and a lot of surface area. So like,
yeah,
let's say if my body aches, I have a lot more surface area than someone who's small. So I technically ache more. You know what I mean? Like if your knee is bigger than other people's and your knee hurts, you have more surface area that hurts, so you have more pain. So that's why it's like I
yeah.
haven't. I'm not even gonna knock on wood. It's been a long time since I had a flu or like anything like that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be. I'm like the same thing with like sleep. I don't need a ton, but I need like if I sleep for a good 6 hours, I'm awesome or whatever. But how like when I'm tired, it's so hard to kind of just like sit and draw. Like it's easier for me to like, oh, if I was like working or I used to do like physical labor, you're kind of like working past the sleep. But if I just gotta sit there and do like a little like drawing thing, my body is just like, oh, you're tired, you're tired. Like that makes it so hard on me. And I try not to be like a baby about it, but when I'm tired, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta like, rest or something.
I used to when I first left home, I was working um, in a place from 9 till 7, doing carpets and stuff. And I had a second job, which was from about 7:30 to about 11, 12 o'clock. I was working for Pizza Hut. So I was like working in the kitchens, making pizzas and, doing the washing up and stuff like that. And this one week, I went 120 hours without sleep
Oh
because
yeah.
I was drinking coffee through the day, and then I was going to work at Pizza Hut, and you got free like Diet Coke or Coke or whatever. So
Hmm.
I'm drinking that to keep myself awake, and because I'm having so much caffeine, and like after work you might go hang out with some of the guys or girls sort of thing, have a chill out chat and all that sort of stuff. And then next minute, oh, there's no point going to sleep. I've got to get up in 2 hours.
Hmm.
So you just carried on. And I literally just say like 120 hours without sleep because I just so pepped up on the caffeine. And
Yeah.
take like Pro Plus caffeine pills sort of thing as well. So it's just literally just like half the time. But yeah, that's just like I felt like a student doctor.
I know.
You
You
never
always
look.
punish them without something. Man, I don't know about that whole. They're like the doctors. They don't get any sleep, and they work for these 100 hours. I'm like, I don't know if that's not a good thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I just always want to ask my doctor, like before I haven't been in for much stuff, but a couple things. But it's like, did you get some good sleep? You haven't been working on like your second 40-hour shift, are you?
yeah. It's like they say, like, oh, you don't want to be like if you're feeling tired and you're driving, pull over and
Yeah,
have a
but go do surgery.
yeah, yeah. That seems like a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, you gotta make sure you pull over if you're sleepy, but if you're sleepy, just do surgery instead.
yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's the doctors, they can handle it.
get a little surgery in there. Don't worry about it. Don't drive though.
Yeah, yeah. No, don't want to be doing that. You'll put people into hospital doing that,
Yeah,
and then have to operate on them whilst you're still
yeah,
drowsy.
and you'll be tired.
Yeah. Just imagine that. It's all right, I'm a doctor. But you did
Yeah,
this. I
it's okay. I know. He's like yawning.
know.
I'm sorry, I'm a doctor.
So you're going to go for some bursts of flames from the ends of the Gatling gun?
I don't know. I'm debating. I might even leave that up to Overton. Do we make anything fire Overton? Do we put it under gunfire? I mean, okay, I guess I tried the fire on the missile rack overhead. I'm seeing how I like it. I think I do. But then do I make it like it's in battle and put some laser fire, or I just make it like it's like post battlefield that it's striding over? I don't know. So I'll kind of leave that up to Overton since I know it's his miniature.
Yeah, it's his one. Because we tested him earlier on to admit it.
Yeah.
Claim responsibility, to claim his prides.
Todd, my first question when I got there, how long have you been in the office today?
Mm.
Yeah.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long. Too long, woo long. Gosh. That's a really crisp paint job you've done there over time.
Yeah, I know. I like, and it is a salamander, right? I assume.
No, well, no, it's not, because
No,
it's got Imperial Fist insignia on it.
that's
So
Imperial. Oh yeah, duh. Gosh, I'm a noob.
then it's not an Imperial Fist.
Good
It's
thing
a yellow.
I'm not into posing to act like I like. Good thing I'm not a poser, dude, because I'd be found out every 10 minutes. This dude has no clue.
So this could probably be like a homebrew dude,
Yeah.
dreadnought. But I like the green on it. So you would ordinarily, yes, you would think it was salamander straight away because of
Yeah,
the
but you're right. I saw the fist. Yeah, when
green.
you said it, I was like,
But
duh.
there's not enough flames on it. They
Yeah.
do love a flame on the salamanders.
And I don't even know. I was thinking this has nothing to do with anything, but they showed those. What was it, the Black Templars? And I was really digging those. But you know what? The other ones I liked is that the White Dwarf one. The White Dwarf team made their own, the Tome Keepers, and what is it? It's the I don't know why. It's the same reason probably a ton of people love books. You know what I mean? So just the fact that they have these books, I was like, oh gosh, those Black Templars have a lot of the seals on them and symbols. I was like, gosh, if you converted some of those with like the books and then used them as that chapter, I bet you could do some really cool things, the tome keepers with them. And I've been thinking about those because I bought 11 issues of White Dwarf 465, which I was interviewed in. I have like 11 sets of those tome keepers decals.
Edward Nigma's just saying, is this 10 ghost stream? I'm 10 ghosts on my other thing. This is Artist Empire, and I'm just here to chat and drink beer.
Well, it's our stream, but it isn't his channel. His channel goes on the Saturdays all the time. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Edward. Appreciate it, man.
Welcome to the Artist Empire, and cheers.
Yeah, the whatever free. I didn't do the free paint every day take because I was like, well, I wanted to work on the Patreon stuff, and I was like, all right, well, I've been doing, and I feel half bad. Like I do the hobby thing. I laugh. I did the chat on Twitter, right? And then I'm like, I scroll back through my tweets, and it's like like hobby chat, hobby chat, hobby chat, hobby chat. I'm like making sure. I'm like, how is this annoying? I'm like, I might be annoyed, but I figure I want to try stuff while it's trying's good.
I was just over time with your green and the insignia. One of the successor chapters that they do have for the Imperial Fist is called Subjugators, and they are, I think, a green like that, and they do still retain the fist symbol, I'm sure, and they're quite badass from what I remember. It was actually a chapter I thought about doing years ago. Them, and there was another Imperial Fist one called the Skull Bearers, which are basically painted exactly the same as Imperial Fists, but they have a skull insignia like the command skull you get. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out there because it was just like knocking at my brain to tell
You
you.
know what I miss? I wish they would do it on. I don't know where they could do it. It'd have to maybe they would do the Horus Heresy. Remember some of the old the I don't know what they're technically called, but like the puffy arm things. You know, remember the Space Marines had the puffy arm things on their bicep or on their shoulder? Like I wish they would do a few more with those.
Cheers, Fenris. I'll have a look into that. I'll sort out my IG Instagram link on my YouTube.
Well, see, they're checking their stuff out.
Because that was Ten Ghosts was my gamer tag, and I had everything as Ten Ghosts. But then once I reinvented myself when I returned to sort of Twitter and all that last year, I went with Forge of Mars because I
That's when
signed
you
up
came
Twitter.
back really to Twitter was last year?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, literally. I come back January last year.
Huh. Did not know that.
And then like 2 months later, met you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Scott. Although I didn't know your name until for about like halfway through
Yeah, I
episode.
know. I don't even.
Well, actually, it might have been the episode when you were saying about the White Dwarf 465.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, my name's gonna be in there. Fine.
Yeah. So,
I can tell him. I can tell the person I've been talking to for a month that, yeah, my name's Scott.
But so I basically I signed out of Twitter, and the thing is, if you sign out of Twitter for more than a month,
Oh yeah.
you lose everything. And so when I tried to sign in, I couldn't. Somebody else has got on Twitter 10 ghosts. So if I looked up on some of my old like tweets on people's walls or something like that,
Yeah.
I would press the link for 10 ghosts and it will go to some dude who's not me, which was a bit of an ask, really. But
Yeah.
Mars, and that's why I just thought I'd go across all the other social media because my Facebook page is the Forge of Mars, and that's been the same for several years since I started that. And then I've just tied in my Twitter and recently tied in my Instagram. But obviously, it's not. I've got to change the link, as Fenris has pointed out for me. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Todd said it was. Yeah, you are right. I do. I used to have them. I probably don't have it anymore. Scouts had the puffy upper sleeve arms. Yeah. And Overton said it's. I chose homebrew to be able to use my own things like the black knees and on the grunts, black pauldrons, and the blue weapons. I can dig it.
Hmm.
I can dig it.
Oh, good.
Get a little more light on here.
Yeah, so with the Black Templars stuff, that's quite annoying, really, because I do actually have Black Templars. I've got a reasonable Black Templars force that I started all Primaris, apart from an Emperor's Champion, but now they've made a Primaris Emperor's Champion, and the characters are all now Primaris as well. So looks like I might have to buy some Black Templar stuff at some point.
I know they'll get me first. They'll get me for some stuff. Some of my own. It's like sooner or later, I'm like, I'm gonna do it because I gotta paint. I gotta paint some stuff just because I'm like, well, if anything, I'll get some likes. Someone will be like, after 25 years, I can get a like on something I painted. Plug this in. I'm getting low on juice.
Those numbers up.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is cool. How much do these? What do these cost USD? This miniature? What do they probably cost? 40, $50? Probably 50 or more.
Well, there's two varieties of Redemptor. You have the easy fit one, which is about 25 quid, so that'll probably be about $35.
Yeah.
And then you've got the multi pose kit, which is about 40 quid, so that'll be probably around $55, $60.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. That's the thing. It's like because they're the easy click. You don't use you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to use glue on them or anything. They're push to fit. So they're very statically posed. They're
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
and that's the beauty of having the multi-part kits because you can pose them as you want and arm them
Oh, for
differently.
sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
especially, I mean, yes, like if you're for someone like me who I only buy a few, it almost doesn't matter because I don't have any of them. And it's like, as long as it's not something bad, which it's not like GW really puts out many bad models, like it's fine with me, you know. But, I can see how, yes, you're going to be fielding a few of them, then you want, or you're already big into the hobby and you know what you're doing. Todd,
don't do it.
Easy Press is gone, I think.
I I actually like Primaris. I think as when you see them on the table against sort of like Eldar and all that sort of thing, they look proper
Ooh,
awesome.
yeah.
$65. There you go.
Well, that's the other thing. Yes, like they're able. I like the aspect with Primaris that it seems, and I hope they keep it up, is because of the proportions, they can do a little more action pose. They're not as squat. You know what I mean? So they lengthened them up more, so they can do a lot more with them, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was actually my Black Templars Redemptor had this thing where it never actually got to fire in the combat phase. In a couple of games I played, it got first one, he got absolutely obliterated by some Imperial Knights. And then the next game it played in, it was in close combat by a whole bunch of like Gene Stealers just surged up and got into close combat.
I love
Um,
Gene Stealers. Leah's
yeah.
fake news. Oh, it's like Leah's fake news. They canceled them.
Lee is fake news, honestly. Morgie's Warbringer.
Yeah, we can't. Oh, I shouldn't even show. I shouldn't even show it because someone's kind of doing as a gift. So if you know him, don't tell him. Don't tell him you saw this.
I've seen it in real life.
Yeah. So I'm
So
trying to work on the paint over for it.
yeah, no, it because I run on Facebook. I run the Leisure Ignitum Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
and because that won an award, like Golden Demon Award, at the last Horus Heresy weekend in
Oh, how
2019,
awesome!
and it was our sort of cover, page cover picture for
Mm-hmm.
I've only literally changed it recently when a certain somebody done a paint over of 4 warlords walking side
Oh
by side.
yeah. No, this is
Because
God. These things are so cool. They're so expensive.
hmm. Oh yeah, they are.
But they're so, I
I,
mean,
I,
whatever, like I don't even care. It's like they're just cool, like to have one, especially, you know how it is, like especially if you're like a fan of something for a long time, or like me, I don't own one of these, but the fact of I loved them for so long, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you can see yourself buying one just because you're like, dude, I want a huge Titan. My desk is going to be so stupid. It's not even
well,
going to be a
I
desk, it's going to be
know.
like a display of stuff. I don't even get it.
I do know from a very good, reliable source that the very first production model um, of a Warlord Titan that they made, uh, they named it. I think they named it Dave, and it used to sit at the table when they was having Forge World were having their meetings. They had a place for it to sit
Oh,
on
absolutely. There you
the
go.
table, sort of thing. So you used to sit in there. I also know about the late great Alan Bly. Um, he juggled a warlord um, because he didn't realise it was magnetised, and as he's picked this warlord up, the top
Oh,
top,
yeah.
top forward, and
Oh,
he was like,
God.
because it's like 7 to 8 kilograms of weight.
Yeah, it's not light.
So yeah, but yeah, they're oh, they are such a lovely, lovely. Like if you get to see one in the flesh, right?
Yeah,
You will.
I've never that. You know what? You're right. I've never. Yeah. Oh, so Overton said I love warhounds, and I do too. I used to own. I never even put it together. Like, what was Forge World before it was Forge World, or am I just imagining
Well,
something?
there was a different company called Armorcast.
Yeah, I have an armor cast warhound when they were kind of, I don't know what they looked like, roundish or whatever.
Yeah, they were based on the original sort of like look
Yep.
from like the original AT. So very sort of like the Warhounds were very like lupine,
Hmm.
um, and
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
totally different with their like sort of curved spines sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
exactly what it had.
yeah, so they done the Reaver and they done the Warhound in that sort of scale. Um, Obviously, the newer ones, like
I
the
know. I
current
love the
Warhound,
newer
is
ones. Are
been
just I
around
love
for
them.
20
That
years.
boxier head and
Mm. Yeah, but they said the current Forge World Warhound's been around for at least 20 years, I think.
uh,
Um, and it looks absolutely, awesome
no,
for
it
me.
still holds up. It still holds
Mm.
up.
Yeah, because they had two varieties. You had the Mars pattern, and then you had the Lucius pattern, which was the one that looked like a Scania truck. Um, so, but they got rid of that because it was, you had to have different weapons for it, and it's a lot of manufacturing to keep up with them. And the Mars pattern outsold the other one, so they
Yeah.
thought, well, there's no point in having this one, so we got rid of it. Um, and
Oh,
I was never, to be honest, I wasn't. I've never been a fan of the Lucius pattern because it's too square.
yeah. I
It's
could
not.
see that. I
Uh,
never. I didn't care. I don't care much for the Reaver. That's where I don't care much for that. It's like it looks a little awkward or whatever. I'm like, that's the only one I'm. And it's weird. I guess sometimes I can think it looks good. Other times I'm like, eh. But that's kind of the one I'm a little sketchy on. Ovitz, I didn't know Todd. You don't even play. I don't think Todd even plays Adeptus Mechanicus, but he bought the Warhounds from him. Let me know if you play, Todd. I'm actually curious.
I can't believe you said you don't like Reavers.
I know. It's probably something, but they look. Come on, they look at them. They look. They're like a little knock kneed or something. Aren't they knock kneed? Like they're. Oh, I can't walk right. I don't know what's going
Reavers
on
are
in
my
those.
favourite fighter. You've upset me now.
Well, I'm gonna have to pull one out. Come on, they look a little.
I sent you a
They're
picture of
knock
my.
kneed, dude. You can admit it.
I sent a picture of my.
It's like
Oh,
it's. Come on. All right. It's like so. Let's say if you had a child who was a little knock kneed, you're not gonna not like them. You can still like them. You can still like your Reaver.
I'm just looking at. Yeah. So where is it? Yeah. Yeah. In your in the Twitter messages, I sent you a picture of a beautiful Reaver Titan.
Wait, did you address it to me? Because I should be able to pull it up right on here. Wait,
Yeah,
I do.
it's on your Twitter messages. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I don't see it on yours. Let me go to my. Did you? You didn't tag me in it, did you?
No, it was actually a direct message to you.
Oh, okay. No, don't have it.
Alternatively, sorry, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on my wall and tag you. That'll teach you.
Yeah, let's see. Oh,
Right.
Overton said he's actually with Scott on this one. Overton, and that concludes the last Ghost stream.
Right.
Yeah, we'll pull this thing up and decide because I was like, they just don't. I wouldn't even say bad. They're not as intimidating as the other ones.
Right. I'll do a couple on
It's
it.
obviously that's the point.
Ah,
That is the point.
Artist's Empire. So
Yes, it's with the
yourself.
F. Toffee trolls, do not get on Lee's bad side. I know. What was the? Which one do I? Oh, I still love. I'm gonna get out those old white dwarfs. Those the couple of the old designs. I mean, obviously they're still basically using them, but I remember those the darn designs they did for like the horse knights from the Eldar. They'd have the banners on the horses. And,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I still to this day I absolutely love that design.
Right. Tagged you.
All right, let's see what we got. Here we go. We're gonna look at. I will even. We're gonna scroll this up. Okay, see that's. I mean, it's not bad. I guess that one's not totally knock-kneed. This one doesn't look knock-kneed. I mean, obviously the paint job and everything is incredible on it. That's a cool glow you did on the. Is this was one yours? I assume.
That wasn't me that had painted that. That's my Titan. That was in the time when I couldn't paint big models, and I freaked
Gotcha.
out because I wanted it to look amazing, and I couldn't do it, and I was having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
My friend
Yeah.
saved. So that was from White Dwarf 462.
You were in
That's his HD,
462? I wonder if I should have that one then.
and as you can see, that name behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Iracundus? How do you say it?
I reckon.
Iracundus? Iracundus. Okay, maybe not. I mean, what am I seeing? Big in the hips? A little big in the hips? Is that the deal that I see with these? Head doesn't necessarily. The head looks very Mechanicus, which I dig.
Mm.
Maybe it's a little
But they
bit.
are
Put some
they
bigger
are
shoulder
sort
pads on that thing, I guess.
of workhorse. The multi-role, they're they're jack of all trades.
Ooh, that's a cool photo. Ooh, I like that. What is up with that photo? How is it so? Oh, I like
And
it. I
there's still
think what I like.
Marine statue.
Oh, that's cool. I think I really like it because of the focus. Like, there is a little out of focus stuff, but I think it works perfectly. Like, it really forces that head forward and the gun and the. That's actually a really good photo.
The if you see the little
I
the
love the little
wasp,
dude.
the little wasps and all that, they were
Yeah.
done by hand. So not decals. They were
These are
actually
done by hand.
So you got one on the
Oh,
knee, and if
God.
you
I literally thought they were decals. That's
look
funny.
down, go down to the right ankle, left ankle. Sorry, no, the other one. Sorry, I'm
Oh,
looking at it the other way.
oh, yeah. Oh,
There's
right
nothing
there.
there.
A little ankle tat.
Yeah, yeah. He's a saucy chap.
Yeah, see, I'm doing another write up about these. Like these, the up view on a Titan is so like look at how cool that is. I don't know. I just love that the force perspective. It like forces it with the leg forward, and that looks heavy to me. Nice, big, heavy. The blur ends up working perfect in this. I know that's the other thing I want to do. Like this one has the Marines up front. I want to do that. I want to do a Titan walking and then like a whole bunch of Marines running with the feet. You know what I mean? Like the full on like the classical artwork where it's all the tanks and the stuff. So we're gonna have to work something out one day. Because I think what I'll do is I gotta start with something like this, and you start with the Titan, and I'll kind of sketch some stuff out, and I'll have to gather photos that kind of work, or like hey, what legion should be charging at the feet, and then anyone who has it, they can kind of see where the image has to go, and maybe they have them take pics, and maybe we'll put a whole bunch in there. So I'm gonna
Well,
figure out some way to do it.
what I'll do, because when I'm going up to Warhammer World,
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and take some Marines with me because I'll be
Yeah, if you
taking
can, I mean,
photographs.
yeah, and even if you grab some, because we can always put them in after. But if you do set some up, it'll probably you know what looks good. You got your eye on the prize. Phew. Well, an hour and a half. That's probably pretty good. 8 people joining us. Thanks a lot, guys. I really and any girls too. Anything else? Or
Tramp Robertson said.
yeah. Does anyone's someone's Titan has to have a tramp stamp on it? I got to put
Just
the hanging banners. I love the hanging
right.
banners. More banners. More Primaris with banners needs to happen. I don't get it. Well, I think we will call it a day. Hopefully, Lee gets to sleep in tomorrow.
No, I've
No,
got to
you
go.
don't.
No, I have to take my kids to school, so I have to get up early, go get them, take them into school, then come back, and then I might have some more sleep.
All right.
It's not all rock and roll.
Yeah, it's not the total rock and roll lifestyle. Overton, thank you very much for this. I'm going to do some more things on it, and then when I have a higher res version up, I will post it to you. Overton, appreciate that. I'd love to have you on while painting minis. As always, Forge of Mars, great talking to you. Toffee Troll, thank you very much, and see you in the Discord, everybody. Oh, and if you are listening to this and you want an invite to the Discord, where sometimes we chat more a lot, just whatever, message me anywhere, and I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah.
So have a good day. Anything in closing, Lee? Do you think you're streaming this Saturday?
Yeah, I should be streaming this Saturday. I said last week was just such a hectic week. I was just so tired.
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah, I'm still waiting for my first sort of proper day off, which is hopefully tomorrow.
God, you'll have
Although
earned it.
I
That's
have
rough.
2 days off next week for my days owed to me. So next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm off. So
Oh really?
yeah.
All right.
So Wednesday, if you want to do an
chats.
earlier
We'll do a.
start, you can earlier start if you want.
All right, we'll plan it out, dude. We'll maybe one of those days we'll have a little a Twitter space. You know what I mean? I'll try to organize a little bit of something, and we'll grab some other people and get them up in there. So,
Yeah.
all right, everybody, thank you very much. I'm going to end the stream here, and I will see you all over the internet on the millions of platforms I'm on.